We have breaking news out of the Calgary Flames organization. They have an extension in place for Mikael Backlund. They also have named him new captain. We also have some incredibly sad news on assistant GM Chris Snow. All that coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some big news of the Calgary Flames tonight. We have a contract extension in place for longtime forward Mikael Backlund, and he's also been named the new captain of the Calgary Flames. So Mikael Backlund signs a 2-year contract extension valued at $4.5 million. This is an incredibly solid value for the Flames and for the team here, and they also, like I said, get them a new captain. It was long speculated that Mikael Backlund was going to be the next captain of the Calgary Flames as long as he stayed, of course, and signed an extension. It's a little bit surprising in a sense. It wasn't that long ago in the offseason when Mikael Backlund was asked about re-signing in Calgary, what his future was, going to hold here, and he said he really didn't know, and he was going to take a wait-and-see approach and see how the year goes. Many of us thought that he wouldn't even really consider things until at least late the season or the end of the season. Clearly, the whole situation last year with Daryl Sutter really messed with the team dynamic, really had this team in dysfunction, and kept a lot of players kind of doubting that they wanted to stick around. That includes Backlund, that includes Noah Hannafin, that includes Elias Lindholm, Tanev, Zadorov, and others. There's a lot of players here that are on their final year of their contracts. Now, not all of them are likely going to stay. It may be difficult for them to work it out for all of them to stay regardless if they want to or not, but Backlund was a key piece here. Backlund has been there a long time. He was kind of the unofficial captain the last really little while since Giordano left, and a lot of people look up to him in the organization. He's been there a long time. He had a chance to learn from Gio, learn from Iginla, and he's a terrific on and off the ice kind of leader. So Backlund at $4.5 million is an absolute steal. I think he'll be reinvigorated. Certainly after getting back to Calgary after to start the season, get into training camp after having some conversations with new GM Craig Conroy. Clearly Backlund had a change of heart and was willing to play ball to stay. I do wonder how much the captaincy was played a role here. I wonder maybe once they had some more conversations in person, if making the offer of being captain to him was going to be part of this. That kind of intrigued him to want to stay. I know it seemed like it meant a lot to him, and it certainly meant a lot to the team to officially put it on his jersey as well. So it's a terrific contract here for Backlund and for the Flames, and I do wonder as well what this is going to mean for some of the other guys to stick around. I know he's obviously, like I said, becomes a leader on this team, has influence and highly regarded. So some of the other guys that were not sure if they wanted to stay, will it impact their decisions as well? Obviously, leaving a little bit of money on the table and taking $4.5 million makes it a little bit more likely to keep some more players around as well, and for them to have a chance to win. So I think they made the right choice here with naming a captain, with Backlund being the guy. And the contract really is phenomenal. He also gets a no-move clause. I believe in the final year it gets switched to a modified no-trade where he can block, I think it's 15 teams. But the no-trade also gets backdated to now. So this year, next year, he'll have a no-trade, no-move clause, and then modified in the final third year. So this very well could take Backlund till the end of his career, depending on how long he continues to play. So this is a great news story for the Flames, and I wish that's all I had to say about the Flames today was positive, good, happy news. But unfortunately, we do have some incredibly unfortunate, sad news to pass along as well. Chris Snow, the assistant general manager for the Flames. Many of you are probably familiar with Chris's story. He's been battling ALS for, I believe it's around 4 to 5 years, or right around 5 years now. He's been working through it. He's been an absolute warrior. He and his family have made it their mission as well to raise a ton of awareness, do a lot of charity work, and trying to help find a cure or find treatments for this condition, so that hopefully those who come after Chris can hopefully have a better quality of life, or hopefully have a way to escape this death sentence, because ALS is an absolutely horrific disease that I wouldn't wish on anybody. And to be honest, Chris Snow has been dealing with this a lot longer than most people get the opportunity to. But we did get some really sad news from his wife, Kelsey, who's documented everything quite well between her blog and her social media accounts. But Kelsey shared earlier that She's absolutely heartbroken to announce that Chris became unresponsive yesterday, went into cardiac arrest. Paramedics and doctors were able to revive him and get his heart beating again. But once they were in the hospital, the scans revealed that he suffered a catastrophic brain injury caused by lack of oxygen. And doctors don't expect him to wake up from this. So Chris Snow has been an absolute inspiration. Documenting everything that's between him and Kelsey on their social media. He lived with this disease, longer than a lot of people have. I think he's had the option and ability to do some experimental treatments too. I do believe, which might have helped. But with the long support of the Flames and his family, friends, and online community, like I said, he's been an absolute warrior and inspiration that reminds you that no matter what life sends your way, it could always be worse. And no matter what, you need to fight and be there for the memories of your family. Now, of course, Chris and Kelsey have 2 little kids, Willa and Cohen. And imagine knowing at a young age, I don't know their exact ages, but they're quite young. Knowing, from the time you're 4, 5, 6, 7 years old that your dad has an incurable disease and you probably won't have him long. I can't imagine. Doesn't make it any easier knowing for a long time or having something abrupt happen, but just my thoughts are with them right now. I mean, I have a child myself, so I know I can only imagine what they're going through. But we should all be thinking of the Snow family. Chris was an absolute inspiration. I know he means the world to the Flames. Kelsey, I can't believe how she documented everything. It was so strong through this whole battle. I mean, technically Chris has not passed away, but based on her update, Chris, I say we, because I don't really know Chris personally, of course, but the Chris that everybody knew of and seen online and pictures and the videos and his family knew is not really with us anymore. So it's expected that he won't wake up from this. And his time here is extremely numbered. When the Flames earlier tonight announced to Mikael Backlund just a couple hours ago, did a press conference to announce the Backlund news and the captaincy, Craig Conroy started off the press conference by acknowledging the situation with Chris and said that he couldn't believe and just didn't seem fair that Chris wasn't there with him. But his son was there. So Cohen, Snow, or Little Snowy as Conroy called him, was at the Saddle Dome to be a part of this historic announcement for the new Flames captain. His dad's in the hospital on his final time here, and goes to show you just how dedicated that family is and how much the family loves the Calgary Flames. They've really embraced themselves, and if you're not familiar with Chris's story, certainly look up Chris and Kelsey Snow on their social media apps, mostly through Twitter, or I guess X it's called now. I think they have Instagram, I'm not sure. And it's just an inspirational story. And the whole hockey community is kind of feeling the sorrow right now, and everybody's thoughts, I think, are with Kelsey, Willa, and Cohen, and Chris's family and friends, and the entire Flames organization that have worked with Chris for so long and have made him a part of their community. So we certainly want to pass along our condolences and thoughts and prayers with the entire Snow family. I know Kelsey won't hear this, but Chris has been an absolute inspiration. Thoughts are with you and your children. And I'm happy to see that even though he was under very difficult circumstances, that you guys made the most of the time you had and made a ton of memories with your kids. And I know he will always be your kids' hero, and had a heck of a time battling this unfair disease. So again, thoughts are with the Snow family. So let us know your thoughts on the Backlund extension, the captaincy, and stay tuned for another video with the rest of the NHL news coming here very shortly. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.